What's good, everybody? It's Big Game. I'm back again. I'm doing a back-to-backer, so kind of feeling good right now. So, I want to talk about this Michael Gallup thing, man. Just got done doing this D-Law video. Go check it out. Members, definitely go check it out. And y'all be getting this video next. Then we'll release it to the public, all that good stuff. But here's my quick thoughts on Michael Gallup. First of all, I'm happy for Michael Gallup. I feel like he's one player that the Cowboys have on their team that really, if anybody deserves anything, it's him. He deserves to get paid. I mean, all of them really do. All the NFL players, all the pro athletes that bust their tails, they definitely. But if we're looking at a player who done everything you wanted, stays out of trouble, great in the community, great everywhere, just a great kid. I think he lost his brother, I think his first or second year, and still has just been a pretty much just a great player on and off the field. And his career has been a very good career. Now, I've been quick to tell you, last year I was advocating, hey, if you're not going to re-sign Gallup and you sign that number 2 and you got CeeDee Lamb and with Cedric Wilson there, I said, hey, see what you can get for Gallup. Wasn't never no disrespect for him. If anything, it was respect, saying this kid is good enough to get draft picks. If you're gonna not sign somebody and you not sign this number 2 to this big money, then you need to figure it out, because Amari Cooper was still getting paid. Me and Mike White have been talking about that for the longest time, not paying that number 2 big money when you already got number 1 paying that money, and then you got CeeDee Lamb's getting ready to come up and you want to push him to the number 1. So obviously the Cowboys must have saw that. We all know about the Cooper situation. I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to say, didn't like how it was done, but that's the business of the NFL. But at the end of the day, we knew Cooper wasn't going to be there a long time in Dallas. Now it looks like this has come to the end. So you ushering out possibly Cooper. You sliding CeeDee Lamb presumably to that number 1. He was a number 1 receiver coming out. Everybody was tripping that he fell to Dallas, fell that far, because they felt he had the number 1 traits to be a number 1 receiver. So he should slide in there on that contract, and it's not high like Amari Cooper, and you're probably going to save that money from releasing him, and now you can funnel that money to possibly Michael Gallup getting a contract. From what we're hearing, I'm hearing from, in the news, Mike Fisher, I got that up, so we'll push that right now so you can see it for yourself. But bam. But this is just from Mike Fisher. Shout out to Mike Fisher. So is Cooper in limbo. The Cowboys have 2 other receivers who they like to retain, in Cedric Wilson and Malik Turner. Then they like to try to supplant the work of CeeDee Lamb, who is under contract and figures to be the Cowboys' new number 1 wideout. In theory, the Cowboys could sign free agent Gallup, Wilson, and Turner for the combined cost of what they will save if they were to part ways with Cooper, $16 million savings. In Gallup's case, a long-term deal might be worth over $10 million average per year, which, as I said before, hey, man, that kid has done what he's supposed to do. I mean, he's come to work, he's done the job, and he's one player, especially with the injury that he had, coming back from a little knick-knack injury, and then the team not really, every time he start to really get his like kind of feet wet, boom, that injury came, and especially getting a touchdown, tearing the knee up and still scoring on that touchdown. Just, I knew how he kind of felt. It didn't look good. I didn't know it was gonna be torn, but it didn't look good. But tough that he went out. But hey, if they're gonna do this thing with Cooper, hey, roll with the CeeDee Lamb, roll with Michael Gallup. Those are still 2 formidable receivers. Cedric Wilson proved that he's more than capable of playing that 3rd receiver. Malik Turner, in the short little bit of time that you've seen him, you were happy about him, and he has size. And then you still have Simi Fehoko in the fold, and you can still draft a receiver high if you like. So we don't like what happened to Cooper, but it's not like the cupboard's bare over in Dallas. Let's be honest. These aren't bum receivers that you have on the field right here. But we just know how Cooper makes it better. But these aren't trash guys that are on the field. If you look at the numbers right here, and it shows Gallup wasn't weak. The thing that I'm going to point out next is we talk about them injuries. But, Gallup, first year, 33 receptions, 500 yards, had the dropsies. The first couple of years had those 11 drops. The second year, people getting on CD Lamb, but we forget when Michael Gallup was dropping them catches his second year. But he did turn up. He had 66 catches for a career high, 1,100 yards. We saw how explosive he was. He's not like a super fast guy, but he can get you deep, and he's a 50-50 ball. You've seen you've seen he's a toe drag swag guy. You've seen how he can get up. He's not like a baby Dez, but he has that quality where he can get up and get after that ball. He's good after the catch, great blocker, great teammate, puts his body on the line for you, consummate team player, and he's explosive for you. So it's not like you are falling off by getting a Michael Gallup. And then you see him come back in 2020, 15 games. He had 59 receptions, 843 yards as the number 2. This year we saw with the injuries obviously really hurt him this year. And that's why you probably saw I said that as soon as he got hurt, it sucked that he got hurt. But I felt like now the Cowboys were going to be able to sign him, and I felt like they were going to sign him now. You could get him at a smaller deal. I didn't know the thing with Coop was going to happen this year, but I said that you could go ahead and sign Gallup with the injury because a lot of teams weren't going to take the chance on a Michael Gallup now because of the injury. They weren't going to jump out and get him big money. Maybe that's why he waited for the surgery as well, knowing that the Cowboys were already coming to him saying, hey, we're already going to take care of you. You don't have to rush this surgery to go anywhere else. We got you. That was probably, those conversations were probably happening and when the Cooper thing. So that's probably why it happened the way it happened with the surgery, in my opinion, on that. But here's the thing that is going to stick out. It is going to stick out, and people have mentioned this stuff right here. And this is all Michael Gallup's injury history, from college on. Had an ankle sprain. This was when he was at Butler Community College. Missed 4 games. September 15, 2019, knee meniscus tear. Gallup suffered a knee injury late in week 2, went over Washington. He missed 2 games. December 20, 2020, inguinal hip strain. Gallup suffered a strained hip during week 15 win over 49ers. He was available for the next game. September 9, 2021, leg calf strain. Gallup sustained a strained left calf during week 1's loss at Tampa Bay. We saw that. He was placed on IR and missed 7 games. He came back. January 2nd, 2022, that same year, he probably rushed it. Probably the leg wasn't ready, and that's why it probably came because the leg strained and the tear. So Michael Gallup tears his ACL in week 17 and is out for the season. So you see the injury history. So that's going to stay in your brain no matter what. He has injury history. So you're a little wary of that. Buyers beware with the injury history because you are going to throw some money at him, and you do worry about the injuries. But hopefully he's not a guy that's getting hurt every single game. But hopefully, those leg injuries, that's what you worry about with a receiver, and there's a lot of them. So that's what you kind of worry about. It's not arm injuries. It's leg and knees and strains. Those are things that you don't like because that's what the receiver needs. He needs those legs, and he needs that explosiveness. So that's what you kind of keep your eye on, and that's where the buyers would beware comes with him. But it is what it is. They're going with Michael Gallup. I'm not mad that they are putting a contract out to him because I feel like he does definitely deserve it. He's been a guy that's been a warrior for the team. He brings value to the team, and as long as he can stay healthy, and that's an if. And we hope it's not something that lingers the rest of his career. But if he can bounce back and be healthy, he does add an explosive offense and an element to the Cowboys offense. And you can draft another fast receiver and blend all those guys. So if you're looking to lose Cooper and you're re-signing Gallup and you bring back a Malik Turner and a Cedric Wilson, Simi Fehoko, see what he can do, and then possibly maybe you get a slippy receiver in one of these rounds, you don't feel that bad, especially if CD Lamb takes the next step, because not like he had a terrible year this past year. You talk about the drops. There was a lot of receivers that were dropping balls, so it wasn't like CD Lamb was trash this year. So look for him to take the next level, maybe get better in that route running, and then you don't feel that bad. But for Gallup, they go ahead and sign him. I'm happy about that signing. Just hopefully he can stay away from them injuries, and I think he adds an explosive element